we're going to start. Please settle down. So we have 3 speakers. First speaker is Jaroslav Mysiak from CMCC. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ralph. Thank you for being back after the lunch. I will take a few minutes to talk about the TaskForce evaluations, about the evaluation of climate services. So this TaskForce was basically formed last year after the networking event organized by EASME in Brussels. And it is a sort of voluntary effort made by Horizon 2020 project, developing climate services, and trying to coordinate, exchange information, and develop something jointly, right? Jointly on how to assess the climate services from user perspective. So those are our projects. They are all of them represented, all projects that were funded under the call SC 501, 2016 and 2017. So they are altogether 9, but we are cooperating also with other projects like EU Max, which was funded from under different call. So just briefly, there were 2 calls. The first batch of projects started a little bit earlier. They are innovation actions, and the second batch of projects are research and innovation actions. All the information about their website and social media you can find on this site. So this is our basically community. We try to work together closely, exchange information only on how to assess the economic or social value of climate services. Now, when you look into the networks, you see those projects are quite fragmented. They include the consortia partners. They are quite separated, but there are some organizations that participate in more than one project, and those are the bridges, like SMHI, like ENEA, like EURAC, and so there is also a natural connection between those projects. So there is good bridges, but this task force is trying to reinforce that. But the situation looks differently when you look only on the business partners of all projects. You see that there is the situation completely fragmented. So on the right side, what you see is the business partners involved in these 9 projects, and they are only links within the specific projects in which they are involved, but not across the projects. And this is something that we want to avoid through our work. Of course, if you look at the whole landscape of FP7 and Horizon 2020 projects that develop climate services, the situation is much more complex. On the left side, you see all organizations and all the links between them, without going too much into detail. When you put it into a geographic landscape, right now the organizations are geo-coded and they are placed in the position which correspond to the geographic position in Europe. Then you start to see certain pattern. And when you zoom into it and filter only those most important organizations, that you realize 2 things. One is the dominant player are still meta offices. And the second thing, there seems to be a Western bias in representation in European innovation. So we have few organizations from eastern part of Europe, and we have few organizations that are dealing with economic analysis or social analysis. And we hope that this task force will help to overcome this gap. So what we are doing, we are developing case studies using different methodologies. There is no single methodology how to assess the economic or social value of, unleashed by climate services. We are developing a sort of minimum requirement on the assessment, a sort of guidance what you should keep in mind and make sure that this happens. In doing so, there are certain steps that we follow. We organize joint webinars. You will find the first series of webinars on our YouTube channel of Euro-Mediterranean Center on Climate Change on the right side. And we are compiling a library of the case studies in the reports and publication. Moreover, we are organizing together a subset of our member projects. We are organizing a side event to COP24, Conference of Parties to UNFCCC Convention. and that will take place in Katowice and is completely focusing on climate services and climate innovation. So this was accepted. We responded to a call by DG Klima, and a side event was accepted on these premises. The second thing that we are developing, we are sort of conveying the knowledge generated in different projects into joint proposal. And the first target is European Climate Change Adaptation Conference that will be held in Lisbon in May next year. And we are proposing two sessions. One is a science session where we show the scientific achievements and the technicalities behind the climate services, where they are not single contribution from different projects. There will be joint contribution from different. Every contribution will be made at least by 3 projects. So this is the type of innovation that we do. And we will cover water, energy, agriculture, disaster risk reduction, cities and health, which are basically all the sectors of global framework for climate services. The second session is science practice session, where we will look into horizontal issues like what you need to keep in mind when you develop climate services, and then we will look into co-design, co-development of climate services, value assessment, market development and business models, communication of uncertainty and risk, and then some successful case studies of climate services that have been developed and they are operational and working on the market. So that's all. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. I don't think we have a round table, but if you've got questions, any questions? Everything clear? Okay. Janette. So you have Janette Bessembinder from KNMI.
KNMI, yes. If you want. No, I have this one, I think, yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you had a good lunch and that you're have a lot of concentration and again to learn to listen to our talks. I will tell something about the user learning services. It's a project that is part of the Copernicus Climate Change Service. It's a project that has just started in June this year, and the aim of the user learning services is to offer free learning activities on how to use the Climate Data Store platform and its contents and the toolbox that's also developed. And the ambition is to provide high-quality training to those who need and use climate data. And as I explained, I hope that it will serve in 2 ways. I hope that the lessons that we provide in this platform can help the end users to get a little bit more basic knowledge about climate data, so that the users know better what they can ask to the providers. But at the same time, the user learning services should also help to get better quality climate services, because the providers can get more background information, they can assess data much faster, they can provide the best information, and I hope it will also help the providers in understanding a little bit better how to communicate with the end users. A little bit more about the project, a few key elements. The project has blended training, and I'll shortly explain that. We develop lessons of about 30 to 60 minutes that are freely available on the platform, and they are combined together, a number of lessons to a learning path. And the blended learning consists of a webinar at the start of the training, then a face-to-face meeting, 1 day, complete day, and then at the end, again, a webinar to answer specific questions of the participants, etc. As I said, the training resources are freely available, so you can also go there without participating in a complete training. You can also just look at one lesson if you want. You can also personalize the training. There are lessons that are available for people with very little background knowledge, and there will be also lessons for people with more background knowledge to go deeper into the material. What we're also doing is organizing in-country training events, partly in the local language. The lessons itself and the database is in English, so people should be able to master some of the English. But the training events are also partly in the local language. And yesterday we had the first in-country training here in Serbia with the help of some local trainers and some local expert also. And well, part of that was also in Serbian. And before this, we had an event, the Train the Trainers event in Wageningen University. They are also the leading partner in the whole project. And during that training, people are trained to become a trainer in another country. And they also trained in how to organize the trainings, with the help, of course, with the people from the project. The target audiences, I told already something about it. I hope that also the end users will profit from it. But the target audiences are also the practitioners, so the more the commercial providers. I hope data will become more easily available and they will have tools to extract the things that they need from the climate data store. They can also be useful for researchers and scientists who use climate data. Could be climate scientists, but also impact researchers and students in climate studies, meteorology, hydrology, physical geography, and many of the other related disciplines. So that the lessons can also be used during education, for example. And maybe some of the last audiences may become interested in setting up their own company based on the knowledge that they gained. Well, I said already the blended learning. We use online training with face-to-face combinations. And the advantage, at least as I look at it, of the online training is also that people can determine themselves when to look at the lesson, and also they can look what is really interesting for them, what they want to know more about. And then the face-to-face events are also really interesting because they create a network. People learn to know each other personally, but they also have contact with the experts where they can ask questions and get more detailed information. It can also be personalized, I said already, based on the background knowledge that people have. But it's also sometimes interesting to see that it can be personalized based on the technical skills that people have. People that have a lot of technical skills know how to process data. They can focus more on how to extract the data from the climate data store, and others can focus more on how to determine really what people need and get help from others. And also what people are interested in. Some people are interested, especially in the past climate, some in season to decadal predictions, others in projections. Here is the link also to the user learning platform, where you can find the lessons that are available already. Here are a few examples. There are lessons that are focusing especially on how to use the platform and how to use the climate data store and toolbox. And there are also many lessons, or at least, well, some lessons are available already, but there will be many more that are focusing on basic knowledge on the climate data. And, well, this is some of the planning. It's changing every week, so I do not know if this is the most up-to-date planning. Well, in September, we had a trainers meeting in Wageningen. Yesterday, in Belgrade here, the first in-country training. And, well, probably this year, we will also have a training in Croatia, in maybe in Spain or in Stockholm, I'm not sure anymore, but if you look at the platform, you will see what is the status of the different trainings. And in total, there will be 30 trainings in 2.5 years. And I hope if you take a look at it, that you get enthusiastic about it, and you will help to promote the trainings and the platform also. Thank you.
Questions? Yes.
Well, Marta Terrado from the Barcelona Supercomputing Center, you know me. Yeah. And my question is about if there is any plan of monitoring the impact of these trainings. Because as you mentioned, probably there would be some people attending that maybe will open a new business or not with related climate services. So it would be good to know if and see if then it's worth continuing this type of trainings.
Yeah. I do not know if you have to call it monitoring, but there is, I think, a special work package within this project that looks at evaluation. So after each training, we will send down a questionnaire to get feedback from the participants. I'm not sure that we look really further whether this also leads to improved climate services. It's more focusing on the project itself, but I hope that in some way we will find out that there will be more and better climate services later on in a few years. Yes?
Thank you. Hello, I'm Petra from JPI Climate. Thank you for the presentation, very interesting to hear about that. I'm just thinking maybe I didn't get in the beginning the possibility for other countries to participate. I'm looking especially for maybe a training session for African countries, for example. We are now with JPI Climate looking into international cooperation, and what we hear a lot about the partners from other parts of the world is the need for climate data, and Copernicus data is for the whole world, is observing the whole world, and I'm just wondering if at least the online tools could be promoted also at the international level.
Well, this project is focusing especially on Europe, and it will, I think it will organize in total 30 trainings in 30 different countries in Europe. And there's nothing planned, for example, for Africa, but I can imagine that all the material can also be very useful for other continents. And well, maybe there will be a follow-up, I don't know. I will present something tomorrow on one of the workshops, whether we could provide, maybe think of developing a climate service on capacity building that could also be used in other continents, but would be really interesting.
Maybe to answer a question.
Yeah.
If there was an African research organization, presumably they could go to any of the
in principle, people from other countries can also go to the trainings. However, as I said, the trainings will, face-to-face trainings, will be partly in the local language. So if you're from Africa and you go to a training in Croatia, I guess that will be somewhat a problem. And people that apply from the country where the training is, are first allowed to follow it, and if there is space enough, then I think that also people from other countries can participate. And in some countries, I think it would not be a problem. If we have a course, for example, in the UK, I can imagine that people that are... Yeah, they can come. Yeah. Yes, all the training material, the lessons, are in English and they're freely available. So everyone who wants, from whatever country, can assess the lessons, and people in principle can also determine their own learning path if they want. They don't have to participate in the in-country trainings. But, we realize that often people need some help, some additional explanation, and therefore I think that the trainings with face-to-face meetings also and the webinars are really useful. But there's no obligation to do that. Yeah.
What about non-countries like EIB, EBRD, major NGOs that are involved in this field that could massively benefit from this? Yes,
I can also imagine that people that work for an NGO somewhere in Africa, but they come originally from a European country, could go to one of the trainings and then use the knowledge that they have to work in an African country, South America, Asia, or whatever. Yes, certainly.
Thank you. Next. She says it better than me, so on financial resilience.
Thank you. Since I was part of the roundtable, I will try to be short and focus on the main points of this presentation. I will switch. Actually, I put some key findings in economic losses from climate-related extremes, which were the basis, of course, for our development, or let's say our establishment as a reinsurance company. But I will just tell you that actually all these economic losses and driving factors are not enough to somehow decrease the gap between the actual losses and the insured losses. Because of that, we need to more focus on improvement of or increasing of the insurance against catastrophic risks. The current situation is really terrible. We can see based on vulnerability index of the World Bank. Especially in this region, the Southeast European countries are significantly vulnerable and exposed to natural disasters, and the cumulative economic loss reported it's more than 80 billion euros and in annual expected loss around 2 billion euros. What is let's say from one side good, from another side bad, but it's that they are homogeneous and leads to exposure and vulnerability to common hazards in this area, but it's good that we can work and cooperate together like countries and do a certain pool or reinsurance the region and then disperse the risk in another way. I have certain numbers here that 25% of all expected losses are likely to return every 20 years on average, and 38% of all expected losses are likely to return every 20 to 50 years on average. For my country, for Macedonia, in case of flood with a 250 years mean return period, the loss of Macedonian economy is estimated to 930 million euros. If some of you knows how big it's the country and how developed it is, you can all assume that this is really very harmful for the budget and harmful for the country at all. In the case of major earthquake with a 250-year mean return period, the loss of Macedonian economy is estimated to 1.6 billion euros. The main losses in this region derives from earthquake, flood, and landslide, but nowadays we can face with drought as well. And I just had a call from Macedonia because we are reinsuring the agriculture sector, where they are asking us to somehow postpone the start period of insurance because of the drought and because the farmers still haven't started the sowing period, so it's very dry. I put in a separate slide agriculture sector and natural disaster. Somehow I really like it, and I really think that it's important for not only for my country but also for the region. Specifically for Macedonia, the agriculture sector consists more than 10% of the GDP, so it's a quite important sector, and not providing financial protection against it, it's I know there is no sense, but it is how it is. So we need to work closely in order to somehow protect the farmers and from especially severe droughts and flood, which I put certain numbers here, which, for example, in Macedonia in 2015, overall damage from flood was around 25 million euros, and almost 60% of damage affected the sector. In 2016, overall damage from flood was around 4.2 million, making damage to infrastructure, houses, but also 70% have been flooded. And after that, when we did some assessment and reporting, we realized actually that a very small portion, even less than 1%, you know, had some kind of insurance. So everyone expects that the government will provide the payout, and that's it. So I gave you this overview because there is something else. This is the current situation. So only 6.24% of the non-life premiums, so the insurance, in Macedonia refers to cat risk, 2.05 to earthquake, 1.13 to flood, and 3.10 to hail and frost and area yield index insurance, which is the insurance that it's reinsured through Europa Re. Therefore, Europa Re was actually, due to this, the fact, Europa Re was established. So, as I already mentioned during the round table, around 2008 and 2009, it was established through a World Bank finance project, and also other donors were involved, like UNSDR, GIF, SECO, and the member countries who also gave initial capital, Macedonia, Serbia, and Albania. The main idea is to increase the level of cat insurance penetration in the region, also to educate the customers, to educate the end users, to work closely with the government in development of risk transfer models, and to work to help the government and insurance regulators to enact regulatory and policy reforms in respect to the catastrophic and weather risk markets. And now we already work as a Swiss-based property catastrophe insurance company. We are not only a facility. Starting 2014, we got the license, and from this year we operate worldwide, so we write business worldwide. The main products that we developed based on a full model are catastrophic insurance coverage for damages caused to property and contents by earthquake and fire following an earthquake, as well as flood. And recently we also developed some micro coverage, which main idea was to deliver a product that can be affordable to more vulnerable groups of people that cannot actually buy full coverage. Area yield index insurance coverage designed to protect the farmers from the loss of crop yields due to adverse weather events and the biological risks. These are the users. Mainly these products are offered through the local insurance companies in each market. We have a business agreement with them, and they receive underwriting platform, and they can write and issue policies. So earthquake homeowners, small and medium enterprises and farmers, same with flood and earthquake product, and same with agriculture. But we do not only focus on, let's say, we do not only work with the commercial or insurance sector. We also work with the governments. That was the main idea. Actually, we develop sovereign coverage for flood and earthquake, protect the government budget against the losses caused by flood or earthquake on national level. It will be even better if we obtain some regional coverage, I mean some mutual agreement between the countries. But at the moment it does not exist. Earthquake micro scheme include basic earthquake insurance for insured dwellings and sub-sovereign coverage, risk transfer mechanism at the municipal level. I mentioned it's Sremska Mitrovica. Actually, my colleagues from Serbia provided reinsurance coverage for Sremska Mitrovica. I think it was for flood mainly. But I need to check, maybe other agricultural risks were included. What we also work on in respect to Macedonia, it's we need to facilitate access to technical and financial assistance through development of agriculture pool. So similar pools already exist and in Turkey. Austria, it's more private. The government is not involved, and in Spain, AgriSeguro, it's in Spain, and in Turkey, it's Tarsim, and we would like to somehow not directly copy, but try to implement similar model in Macedonia, which will include the government, reinsurance sector, and all insurance companies through a standardized product for the farmers, who actually, in order to insure their business, needs to get subsidies for their business. They need to be also insured. The last but not least is the educational part of our work, and this is to raise the awareness, which is on quite low level, as I already mentioned during the round table. And we do that through the Cat Monitor platform, which is active in the 3 countries that I mentioned, where the member countries. It's a free platform, free website for monitoring and building awareness about earthquake and flood risk among the general public. We are, especially Macedonia, it's quite prone to earthquake risk, and Serbia flood, we know. Albania, it's more or less here in between. And the goal is actually to somehow educate or to inform the homeowners and businesses, as well as government agencies, of the vulnerability to their exposure to these risks, and they can very easily put some data in respect to their place where they live, house, how it's built, depends of the construction material, etc. And then the full report, it's available in all 3 languages, and I think also in English. So there are certain challenges and opportunities, and mainly the challenges are increase the participation of the local markets in the program, increase the public disaster risk awareness and knowledge, raise awareness for agriculture insurance. This is something that we really strongly work on. Develop adequate policy framework and decrease the post-disaster payments, instead of that develop a sustainable model. But there are opportunities, so we believe that there is a potential in Southeast Europe. Introduce and promote modern insurance market infrastructure, including risk-based regulatory framework, create demand for cat and weather insurance products, and increase the awareness and financial literacy about the risk of natural disasters. I try to be short because I already spoke before. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ludwig Liak from EIB. You mentioned that part of the system you presented was supported by JEF, UNISDR, and World Bank. Mm-hmm. I was wondering what types of support you got from these 3, and what type of added value they were bringing to the project and to the system.
It was a trust fund.
Okay.
Trust fund.
So there was money. No technical assistance in particular?
Technical assistance, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Hello, my name is Sophie Verheden. I'm from GPI Climate. I think approximately 8 years ago, there was this very huge international project going on about earthquakes, global earthquake model. I don't know if you know this model. It was a collaboration, an international collaboration between insurance companies and researchers. And I was wondering if you knew about it, and if you think that something similar on the climate risks could be something that you are interested in as an insurance company or investment company.
Do you know the name of the project?
Global Earthquake Model, GEM.
Ah, GEM, I didn't hear it. I don't know why I was not, I mean, at least we do not cooperate at the moment. I don't know if, when we started 2008, 2009, I'm not quite sure if the World Bank somehow contact them, but I'm not quite sure. That
Okay, it was really a big international project where they tried
also
to
covering Southeast Europe, because we are only mainly
it was
focused on
more than Europe. It was beyond Europe even, with the USA, I think, with Asia, if I remember well. But I'm not sure about the results finally of this collaboration. But the idea was to put a kind of unified model to know the risks and to know how much to pay for each region, how much the people had to pay for the insurance of each region and so on. And so I thought, yeah, it should be a good example maybe to do the same with climate risks.
I will ask our risk modelers. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I cannot comment on this, but maybe they cooperate somehow. But I will certainly ask. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If the previous question referred to the global earthquake model, then this project is still going on. It's an open source global earthquake analytical tools. You might explore both the hazard, the vulnerability, susceptibility to the harm. It's based in Parma, and Ralph knows probably a lot about the project.
Okay, so I think, thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have the 1 minute presentations, but I think somebody else is chairing.
No, it's your turn.
There's no show in between because children.
Oh, yes. Okay. Just.
Okay. Okay, so welcome to the marketplace. I'm Franz Simmler. I work at the EASME Executive Agencies for SMEs at the European Commission, and I have the pleasure to guide you through this show here. So the idea is the marketplace is actually downstairs, right? The poster, so that's where you're supposed to go. Here we will.
Online presentations are in the atrium.
Okay. So we will have short presentations of most of the posters and online presentations here. Since really the main goal is to go downstairs to meet and mingle there, we will be very short, only here, 1 minute maximum, and I will be very strict on that. That's my job, because we really want to have the time to discuss downstairs. All right, with this we can start, right?
We will start with the students' videos.
Okay.
First, we have a special guest.
First,
today.
the special guest.
First, the special guest. So the 1 minute rule doesn't apply to me. Okay. We're very, very honoured to welcome to Climate Europe's second festival some extremely special guests, and I'm very proud of all of the work that they've put in for us. So could we give a warm welcome to these students? I'm just going to say a few words about Crescendo, and then I'll allow you to introduce your video. So for those of you who haven't already heard about the Crescendo project, this is coordinated research in Earth systems and climate through experiments, knowledge, dissemination, and outreach. And there are 4 main aims for this project, including improving our Earth system models, evaluating the scientific performance of these models, using them to generate a new set of projections for the coming century, and fourthly, to ensure that the knowledge developed in this project is communicated to the wider project, and that's where our special guests come in. So part of ensuring this communication to the wider project involves a fantastic network of schools across Europe. And these schools are located as indicated on this globe. Now, there was a call for projects from these schools to engage with Climate Europe, and the best of the bunch was selected. They produced a really innovative method for engaging the topic of climate change. Now, while I load the presentation, I will invite them to introduce their talk. say this is the trailer, and the full talk will be, the full video will be available in the marketplace. Are you ready? Did you want to say a few words before I play? Or? Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so, hi, so I'm Edvi Bettini and
I am Sola Mohamedai.
We are here from Albania, but we are here to represent Crescendo School. So, first I want to say that we are really delighted to be here, and this is a great honor and a great opportunity for us. We first want to thank Crescendo School for giving us the opportunity, and of course Climateurope for letting us participate in this festival. So our video, in our video we have represented Earth as a teenage girl who is sick and therefore she goes to see a doctor. After some examinations, the doctor tells her that she is infected with humans and sick with climate change. But this disease can only be cured by the ones who cause it, by humans, by us.
Well, actually, we have worked about this theme in our math project, and we were one of 34 winners of European Schools.net Academy, and also we have been taking part of other platforms such as Twinning or Scientist. So we had all information that we needed about climate change, and we were thought, why we don't do something interesting and understandable by all ages, especially for young generals, because we know that they are the future of each country. So thank you, and we invite you to see our trailer.
Okay, without further ado.
What is your name? I'm Mrs. Come in. Yes. Profession is here. Firstly, I have rising fever and terrible headache. I have also this. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, now cough. First, I need you to do some analysis. Infected? With what? With humans. Is there any solution? What should I do?
Recognize your work, and unfortunately there are two of you on any one of these, but you've been presented with a special prize. This scarf represents the colours on this scarf represent global temperatures, and you can see how they've increased over time. It's been hand knitted for you. Hopefully you can share it. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Okay, so now, from now on, the 1 minute limit applies. Strictly. And we start, so we just go through this list, which I think is more or less random.
I'm the
but
first.
Please, you're the first? Right.
And I don't have a presentation.
That's purely coincidentally that
yes,
you're...
totally.
Okay. And so please, if there's anything interesting for you, note down the number, and then later you can go downstairs, meet the people, and network. So Alexander will be first presenting operational and research activities of Southeast European Virtual Climate Change Center.
Yes, probably you heard this morning that Republic Hydromet Service of Serbia is hosting Southeast European Virtual Climate Change Center. So our poster is on our activities. So if you are interested more to find out, please come to our posters. We are doing operative activities, research, so come to us. It's more than a minute.
That was less than a minute. Wow, thank you. Great. All right, second poster is on Panics by Vladimir Djurjevic.
Okay, thank you. The poster is about the Panics initiative in the region. It's actually it's a GVEX hydroclimate project. Probably most of you know about the HYMEX and the Baltics. Right now we have a third one in Europe. It's called Panics. The Panics is ex-sea. It's not a sea like Mediterranean and Baltic Sea, but it was a sea like many million years ago. Now we have a huge flat area which is semi-closed by mountains around, so we in the region decided to more dedicate our research to this region, very interesting one in terms of water cycle, hydrology and things like that. So you can get more information on the poster. I hope that some of you, we are open as a project, as an initiative, so every one of you can approach me and ask me how you can join initiative and things like that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Poster number 3, Lidija Snjaric on DHMZ climate products for end users in Croatia.
Good afternoon, everyone. My poster is number 3, and it's in a small version here. I will not talk about the poster, but what is very important for climate products. That's from my side, but I think it's also from my institution. So what is very important is to have automatic station network as well as human station network. I think that in parallel these two are very important to have long-term measurement data sets and to be able to analyze climate. That's for, here are 3 our projects that DHMZ is involving. Then also what is very important is computer resources, but also human resources. I think that computer capacities are very important, but also to have a good teamwork on local, national, as well as international projects in order to avoid duplicate, but also to grow a better network.
Okay,
and
thank you very much.
Okay, and the
more
last one
detail
is
downstairs
what's mentioned already before.
Poster number 3. Then poster number 4 would be Svetlana Aniskevich on climate change adaptation monitoring system in Latvia.
So no presentation for me, so I will be really fast. In Latvia, our Ministry of Environmental Protection have created a cycle of climate change adaptation, and climate change adaptation monitoring system is just one part of it, and it consists of 2 parts. Climate change monitoring that is performed by State Hydrometeorological Service, and the second part, adaptation monitoring, is based on the various indices that were developed by the experts from various sectors such as tourism, agriculture or health. And later, if you are interested, you can come and take a look at the poster. There is just simple examples and the structures of the system.
Okay.
So, briefly, thanks.
Thank you very much, Svetlana. Poster number 5 is presented by Bakir Krajinovic, and it's the Climate Atlas of Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, 1961 to 1990.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Bakir Krajinovic. I work in the Federal Hydromet Service in Sarajevo in Bosnia and Herzegovina. On my poster, I will present the work of 3 years' work of our Department of Applied Meteorology, and it's about It is connected with a few projects, and it's about challenges, methods, softwares, and our products on our web page, and I hope so it will be on a print paper. So if you are interested, I have a poster presentation down there, and you can see. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much. Then number 6 is an online product by Biljana Abolmasov. Don't know if you want to present it, no?
Abolmasov, she's not here.
Okay. But the online presentation is here.
No, unfortunately not.
Okay. Then number 7 is Goran Baskovic, also an online product on agrometeo.mk.
Hi, I'm Goran Basovski from HMS Macedonia. I want to present you our pilot project with 3 agrometeorological weather stations. We made a agrometeo as a web page for farmers to see this data and to copy this pilot project to be used for whole country in the future. These are the results of this pilot project. I can show you on my web page downstairs if you want to see. So we have also a database from 24 phenological stations. We have 1 camera and for 24 observation of crops. By using the data, we made disease models. If you're interested to see how they work, what kind of models we used, you can ask me again. We made a calculation for SPI index for 1, 2, and 3 months. We have alarms for spraying, frost warning, and we use the NMME model that already everybody talked about.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Dragan. So this is down here to be visited. Number 9, Tatjana Savic-Sljevic. Did I miss someone? No?
8.
Oh, sorry.
It's 8.
8 first.
Okay.
Sorry,
Can I speak first?
That was Goran and now Dragan.
My name is Dragan Mihic. I come from the Republic Hydrometeorological Service of Serbia and also Southeast European Virtual Climate Change Center. And I will be available to present you the digital climate atlas of this region and to see the benefits of good climate data to be used for the community, for everyone, for free. The project that was sponsored by the European Commission together with the Joint Research Center. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now Tatjana, please on Danube drought risk in the Danube region. And there's a slide. Thank you. Oh. There it is.
Dry Danube project is an international project financed by Danube Transnational Program. There are 15 project partners and 8 associated strategic partners from 10 countries and from the Danube region. The general objection in the project is to change mainly ad hoc drought response to a proactive response, and the main outputs are the AF projects and drought user servers. We have a web page for that, methodologies for drought risk assessment and drought impacts, and Dry Danube strategy to improve response on the drought.
Okay, thank you very much, Tatjana. Number 10, Sabina Bokal, Integrated Drought Management Program in Central and Eastern Europe.
Yes. So to continue my previous presentation, basically the Dry Danube project also somehow came out of this program. This program started as an outcome of a high-level meeting on drought management policy in Geneva in March 2013. And it's coordinated by the World Meteorological Organization and Global Water Partnership. And its activities are focusing on 3 main pillars: the monitoring, early warning, vulnerability impact assessment, and mitigation, preparedness and response. And one of the first regional programs that started under this global initiative was this IDMP in Central and Eastern Europe. And you can find all the information about the activities and the things that we do in on poster, maybe something what is interesting for this community here, that within this program, there was like a drought management info webpage created, or a help desk, tailor-made help desk for everything what you want to know about the drought resilience and drought management.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, Sabina. And number 11, poster 11, will be presented by Anna Vukovic on climate change. No, will not be presented.
No, and that no.
So that was the block on research activity in Eastern European countries, and now we come to the block of climate services, Earth system modeling, and observations. Poster number 12. Dejan Stjanovic is not here.
No.
Then we have Zoran Milic from GeoCradle. No?
Yes.
Yes? Yes, yes, we have. Just very briefly.
Hello to everyone. My name is Zoran Milic. I'm coming from the Institute of Physics, Belgrade. We participate in GeoCradle project. It is a Horizon 2020 project related to integration of the Earth observation capacities in the region of Middle East, Balkans, and North Africa. Earth observations are related to four main thematic areas: climate change, food security, access to energy, and access to raw materials. So if somebody is interested to join us, you are welcome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. GeoCradle project, very nice project. Then 14 is Ines S3 by Francesca Guglielmo. You pronounce it better, I suppose.
So ISINES 3 is the third phase of the infrastructure project for Earth system modeling in Europe. It's Horizon 2020, 4 years project due to start next January. So it aims at pursuing common approach to develop models and modeling tools, supports explicitly internationally coordinated experiments, CMIP 6 and Cordex, distributes model results and integrates the community. The project will go beyond the climate modeling community, addressing also specifically impacts of climate services. We have planned training events and schools at interface between impacts and modeling, also for young generation scientists, and in Eastern Europe. Please come to poster 14. Thank you.
Excellent, please do. And then poster 15 by Maidat Zahid, QAC, Quality Assurance Checklist.
Yeah, thank you very much. The title of my poster is Quality Assurance, User Relevance and Scientific Soundness. It is one of the contract in the Copernicus Climate Change Service. So quality assurance is a really important topic, and it should be an integral part of all climate data products because it improves the transparency and it gives you the accuracy of information. So when we think about quality assurance, two questions pop up in our mind. What do we evaluate and how do we do it? So in the poster, you will find a tool that you can apply on the data, and then you can figure out the quality of your product and the data by applying this tool. And besides this tool, you will learn about the development, testing, and application, and the lessons learned during the tool. And who will be benefit from the tool is all types of data users and the climate service providers. So I will be looking forward to you to explain more about QAC and its use applications. Thank you.
Very good, thank you very much. So poster number 16 and 17 will be presented by Julius Pröll. Still only 1 minute, sorry.
Yes, yes.
2 posters, 1 minute.
Really? Okay, so then I have to be really quick. So my name is Julius Pröll from the Climate Service Center, Germany. My first poster, which is actually my poster, the second one is not my poster, is about technology transfer for climate services. Technology transfer is done at nearly every big research institution worldwide, but in the field of climate services, it's a new research topic bearing new challenges. And therefore, we are doing a solution-oriented analysis of challenges and barriers of climate service technology transfer. On the bottom left side, you can see a simplified process of technology transfer for climate services. And yeah, when you're doing this, you should, for example, look at the market perspective and know how much worth the possible transfer has, and also look at special challenges for intellectual property. And of course, there are more information, and you can have more information at my poster. And coming to the next poster. Yeah, so since I'm standing here, I will just continue. And this poster is from one of my colleagues, Jörg Kortega, who could not attend on short notice. It's from EU Max, where they look on current conditions on the market for climate services. And yeah, they're looking, or they're concerned with the analysis of barriers that inhibit the development of the market and the identification of enablers that reduce or avoid these barriers. In this context, they looked at the current market and structures and the related barriers and innovations. And on the time is over. Okay, but if you want to have more information, feel free to come and I will try to answer those questions.
I'm sure people will come to find out more. So poster 18 is from Miriam Portica, Data Evaluation for Climate Models.
Yeah, hi everyone. Yes. DECM is to ensure that the real needs of the model climate users are met, and therefore we conducted a survey, and the results of that you can see downstairs. From this survey, a pre-prototype was constructed, which is accessible under climatedatasite.net, and you can still give your feedback until the end of this year. So it would be really helpful if you did that to further ensure that the quality of the data is met for your use. That's it.
Thank you. That was number 18, poster number 19 by Mark Payne, Translating Advances in Arctic Climate Science to Climate Services Across the Northern Hemisphere. That sounds like blue action.
G'day. My name's Mark Payne. I'm from the Danish Technical University in Copenhagen in Denmark, as you can probably tell from my outrageous Danish accent. I'm the work package leader of a Horizon 2020 project called Blue Action, which you see here. And within this particular work package, we are trying to develop 5 different climate services in 5 different sectors. We're looking at tourism, and we have a Finnish ski field as our end user and co-developer in that. We're looking at the effects of polar lows, which are small, intense storms, and how they affect shipping in the Arctic. We're looking at human heatwave mortality. We're looking at Arctic development scenarios in the Yamal Autonomous Region in Russia, and we're looking at marine fisheries. And particularly the fisheries case study will be the subject of a workshop tomorrow morning. But if you're interested in any of these or in the fisheries one, please come and talk to us. We're very interested in collaborating with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I'm happy that the project IMPREX will be presented at poster 20 and now briefly by Cedric Ananel.
Hello. Yeah. So I learned one day that people cannot watch the screen and hear and listen to people, so I didn't bring any presentation. If you want to know about the best project on climate services, and I'm making a pose there, you should come to see me. There is no poster, there's just a computer and me, and we work on a number of water applications with users, and last week we got a general assembly and we got the first result. We picked the best results for you and we prepare them, and they are just there in this little gray box. So please come with me for the IMPREX project. Poster 20.
I'm sure everybody wants to see you. 21, Focke de Jong, ERA 4CS Innova project.
If you want to know how stakeholders work together with researchers and local businesses in specific regions, then come to the booth number 21, which is in the Market Square, but also with a laptop. My name is Focke de Jong from Wageningen Environment Research, actively involved in JPI Climate, ERA 4CS, and Innova, which there should be a slide, but anyway. Innova is one of the ERA 4CS projects, and we are working on climate services research, innovation in climate services, risk assessment, and climate scenarios, together with four hotspots in Europe. One of them is in the northern German city of Kiel, and the other one is Nijmegen, which is in the river Waal, a river basin. and the drought city of Valencia is one of our topics. And Saint Martinique and Guadeloupe in the French territories in the Caribbean zone. So come to us, and maybe you want to exchange your experience in your region, for instance in Macedonia or Serbia, and want to exchange knowledge with us, and you can maybe learn from what we are doing in the different types in the adaptation cycle, because that's where we're talking about. Come to our market square. You can contact me or Maria from Jerix, and maybe with other persons. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Foki. And Philippe Lefebvre, a word on Climate Fit City.
Hello.
Urban
Good
Climate Services.
Afternoon. So my name is Philippe. I'm from VITO, a research organization, business organization in Flanders, Belgium. And I'm presenting the Climate Fit City project, and I'm following the advice of our expert communication partner, Arctic. So I have not brought along a slide with the project, but you can find everything about our project on poster 22. So I'm just going to show you the logo. So this maybe ring a bell when you walk across the project. So it's all about climate services in urban areas. So it's about making use of high-resolution climate information and the integration of that high-resolution urban climate data into other tools and services for urban actors. So, and we're looking at a number of different sectors. And from my head, I hope I can remember them all 6 correctly, but it's about energy building, it's about active mobility, walking and cycling in cities, it's about human health, it's about urban planning, it's about emergency planning, and it's about, I'm forgetting one, but if you want to know that one, you have to come to my poster.
Perfect. Thanks, Philip. And then poster 23 is on the Clarity project. From Dennis, is he here? No? Then 24, Climate Services for Clean Energy S2S4E project by Isadora.
Yeah. So S2S4E is subseasonal to seasonal predictions for energy. It's an H2020 project that next spring will launch a climate service online and for free that is going to provide predictions on climate variables and energy variables for the coming weeks and months. So if you come by the poster, I can show you online an interactive prototype that we have. So it can be interesting for people in agriculture or just to see how climate services is done. And tomorrow we will have an interactive session, and we will talking about business models for this type of services. But just come around and see what we do on visualization of climate information.
Okay, thank you very much. Then windsurfer. All right. Len Sheffrey will present who or what surfs on the wind.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. Okay, I don't claim to have the best results, but certainly we have the best project name. Okay. So yeah, I'm Len Sheffrey from the University of Reading. I'm here to talk about the Windsurfer project. So our tagline is winds and waves for forestry, offshore energy and insurance. We're a 3-year project that's funded through the ERA4CS ERANET. There are 8 institutions right across Europe involved in the project. And what we're doing is we're developing new data sets of extreme winds and waves and new tools to do 3 things. So first of all, to assess windstorm damage across Europe, to assess extreme waves for developing offshore infrastructure, and thirdly, new tools to assess wind risk to forestry. So if you're interested in extreme winds or extreme waves, then come and see me at the Windsurfer project.
Okay. Wonderful. Then Dragana Bojovic will present Primavera.
In the Primavera project, we are producing new generation of global climate models at exceptionally high resolution. So this groundbreaking, breathtaking scientific knowledge is not necessarily so exciting for non-scientists. So in order to attract different stakeholders, users that are not from academia, we really needed to be creative in our project. One of the tools we developed is a user interface platform. So come to see it at the stand number 26.
Okay. Thank you. And the next one is then Lola. After impacts, etc., etc.
So the project, this is a new
networking project. It's cooperation between the European Union and Russia. It calls AFTA. We will investigate the impact of climate change over Europe, Russia, and Turkey region. The project has just started, so unfortunately we don't have enough results at the moment to be presented, but we are 4 people, myself, Rosamine, Abdullah, and Svetlana. If you have questions, just come and ask us, and we will do the high-resolution simulation over Cortex Central Asia domain for different RCP scenarios, and then we will use these high-resolution simulations to drive different impact models to understand the impact on forestry and agriculture. Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Then poster 28 is the EUCP project, presented by Sebastian Battiani.
Thanks. Yeah, this post is about EUCP, the European Climate Prediction Project, and our motivation for this project is that often climate predictions in different member states are very different and scattered, and they affect different timescales. And in this project, it's the aim to combine these pieces and unify it more, and to work towards a seamless prediction system for Europe on the timescale between 1 and 40 years. And we are currently in the process of identifying potential stakeholders for this project and involving them. So I'm particularly interested if people have suggestions or if we have kind of discussions about this. And then please come to poster 28. Thanks.
All right. And Uwe Mikolajewicz will explain how to model future changes in sea level at poster 29, right?
And I'm talking about a downscaling, dynamical downscaling exercise with a regionally coupled atmosphere-ocean model. And the focus will be on sea level, and especially in the German part of the North Sea. And what you see here on the top is basically return periods, and you see the sea level as a function of the return period. And this is the typical diagram where agencies base their coastal protection on. And typical data sets, if they're really long, are of the order 100 years. We here made an exercise running a model for 1,000 years, and you see a bunch of curves, and you see, especially for the extreme sea level, you see a large scatter of something like 1 meter, so which is extreme. And so I would say challenge a bit, give a large bunch of uncertainty in our current estimates of extreme sea level and return periods. And the second part is also dynamical downscaling, but basically for the CMAP simulations, and you see changes in mean sea level. Okay.
Okay. Very interesting. And then poster 30, Slobodan Nikovic.
He's not here.
No. 31, Abdullah Sakali. Yes. So it's about 31 poster, climate change impacts on net water budgets of the terrestrial biosphere.
Yep, Abdullah Sakali from Turkey, Iskender Technical University. The poster is about analyzes the last 35 years of the input and output fluxes of the water cycle. And as you see, the terrestrial biosphere get more and more water than so input than the output. And on the global map, I just draw the delta of the net water budget on global scale. It is 25 by 25 kilometer resolution. If you have any other question, you can come to poster 31. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. And poster 32 and 33, Rosiemen de Troch. First one is on Eurocodex.
Yes.
And second on URClim. URClim.
Yeah.
URClimate.
Hi everyone. So my name is Rosamine de Troch from the Royal Meteorological Institute of Belgium. And indeed I brought 2 posters. So one of the posters is about a national project called Tracking Invasive Alien Species, where many different partners among ourselves aim to build a data-driven framework to assess the progression of invasive alien species. So more specifically, our task of the Meteorological Institute is to provide high-resolution climate data over Europe for present and future climate scenarios, because this high-resolution data is needed
for the species distribution models to estimate the geographical establishment of the invasive alien species. And shortly, the second poster, it's just next to the one I presented. It's about the URCLIM project, so it's about urban climate, and it's a project of the ERA for Climate Services program. So you're all very welcome to pass by poster number 32 and number 33. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then 34, Carmen Alvarez. Metscope, Mediterranean Services Chain based on climate predictions.
Thank you. So, okay. Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Carmen Alvarez from CMCC, Italy. So in poster number 34, you will find an overview of the Metscope project. So Mediterranean Service Chain based on climate predictions. Metscope is a 3 years ERA4 CS project, aiming the enhance of the exploitation of climate predictions from seasonal to decadal timescale and maximizing their application into different economical sectors regarding the Mediterranean area. So basically we have 4 working packages and 2 main lines of research. So one is to deeper understand the physical processes, source of predictabilities, and drivers. And the other one is about developing of a toolbox, so main methods and tools for bias correction, statistical downscaling. So everything will be in poster 34. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Carmen. And 35, Maria Navarro, Visca, so another project on wine.
Yes, thank you. So my name is Maria Navarro from Meteosim, and I'm here to present the project Visca, that stands for Vineyards Integrated Smart Climate Application. Our project attempts to make the wine sector resilient to climate change. We are designing a decision support system that is very innovative because it integrates agricultural techniques that haven't been applied on a real basis so far, that help the farmers to choose lower temperatures for harvesting dates, because due to climate change the harvesting temperatures of the grapes have become too high, and this is harmful for the wine. And another very innovative aspect of our decision support system is that the phenological models, which are models that predict the life cycle of the plant, will be fed with mid-term and seasonal forecasting, and this allows the farmer to make strategical decisions on field. So very well informed. Also, we will have a warning system for extreme events for the farmers.
Okay, thanks. More detail in poster 35. 36, Alessandro Dell'Aquila, turning climate-related information into added value for traditional Mediterranean food systems. Please.
Yes, thank you. We keep on wine problem. If you visit our poster, we could chat about olive oil, pasta and wine, as the main scope of MedGold is co-develop and co-design climate service for these pillars of the Mediterranean diet. And we are just 1 year old, so we can discuss and present the first step of our activities, and we could also taste some traditional product. No, I'm joking. No, I'm joking. Sorry, I'm joking. But however, it's quite interesting indeed.
All right. Thank you. And then we have Marta Terrado presenting 2 more posters.
Yeah, well, actually this first poster is about how many Atlantic hurricanes do we expect for the coming season. I know that talking about hurricanes seems very far away from Europe, but actually it's not that far away, because this last week we actually felt the effects of a tropical storm that carried some rain in Spain. At least we felt it, and in other countries could be. This is a platform that was designed by a team of scientists from the University of Colorado and BSc, and together with visualization specialists, a graphic designer, and the user. This website is sponsored by AXA insurance company. And what we want to point out here is a different way, a more like appealing way to show this kind of information. Come and we can show you how to interpret this, and that it's also useful for the media. So it's thought for a different public. Yeah, I go to the next one. Okay. The next one is super fast, because Alessandro already explained the Met Goal project. So this poster goes a little bit more in depth with the aspects of communication, user engagement, and clustering inside the Met Goal project. So it's about how the communication is supporting this engagement of users so that they become more interested in this product. They help us co-produce this product, and then it's easy that they can help awareness among the sector.
Okay, thank you, Marta. And then Janette from KNMI has 4 posters. So maybe a bit more than 1 minute, but not much more.
There's some confusion. I will tell something about 3 projects. The first one is about the European Climate Assessment Database. I do not know if you know it, but it's existing already for a long time. And it's a portal that makes available many data for the whole of Europe based on observations. And if you have been looking for climate observations yourself, then you may have experienced that it's very often difficult to find the data, for example, on the website of a meteorological office. And many data are not freely or without cost available. This project, this program is special in the sense that it's a cooperation, and that all the institutes that cooperate allow the portal to provide data that is derived from the original time series. So the original time series are not always available, but derived data like, for example, frost days, the maximum number of consecutive dry days in a year, etc., is available. And it has some tools to easily provide you with climatologies, with climate indices and trend maps. So come to our poster and I will tell you something more about it. Then the second poster will be about the USTES project. It's also about observations, but slightly different. You will also know, if you've looked at observations, that there are some areas in the world where there are very limited data or observations available. Fortunately, we do have a new source of data since the 90s, and that's satellites. That's not direct observations of, for example, temperature, but indirectly they can be used together with observations to make estimates of the temperature. And that's what we did in the USTES project. We combined observations and satellite data with very complicated statistical techniques that I even don't understand completely. But we almost finished making a global data set with daily data and high resolution for all services of the world that will also extrapolate back to 1850 and give you information on temperature, minimum, maximum temperature, and average temperature. Okay. Yeah? And one more project, I would like to say.
10 seconds.
Yeah? Okay, yes. The WATCH project, this is about providing of information to directors of road for the maintenance and design of roads. That means for the drainage systems, the tunnels, etc., along roads. And a cooperation between civil engineers, risk analysis experts, socio-economic scientists, and climate scientists. We try to give a guideline, a practical guideline for the directors of roads to use climate data and to make the roads more resilient and less vulnerable to climate change.
Thank you.
That's it.
So
Yeah.
that was poster 39, 41, and 42. And we have 2 more, 43 by, again, Foki or Sophie Verheiden. Or Petra herself. So that's on the JPI climate project since here, no?
Yeah.
Yes?
On several things.
On several things. Okay.
Can I okay.
Hello, I'm Petra. So I have the pleasure to represent by posters JPI Climate, ERA4CS, and Sincere, all under the header of Connecting Climate Knowledge for Europe. So what is this? JPI Climate is 17 European countries with major research funding organizations. A flagship program on climate services with 26 running projects. We have seen 4 of them before. What is this? A joint effort to strengthen international climate research collaboration, and we are here at the Climateurope Festival with our project Sincere in an effort to widen our partnership towards Central Europe. How can you find us? You just have to look out for this. That's the poster, and we are trying to reach out especially to all the partners from this region, and very happy to see you here. I'm not going to be alone. I'm here with my colleagues. Julia, Dorothea, you've seen, Volker, Sophie, and Jan. I hope I didn't forget anybody. So very happy to see you and discuss there. And I also want to invite you, that's a task we're doing in communication in this project Sincere, come and join us tomorrow for a session, a playing session around new tools of communication. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Petra. And finally, last but certainly not least, 44, Winfried on ICRA.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to present. Good afternoon, Winfried is my name, from ECRA. European Climate Research Alliance. So this is an organization founded in 2011. In one sentence, an organization made of climate scientists from all around Europe, from 9 countries. As of now, focusing on 4 topics: the Arctic, sea level change, geological cycles, and high impact events. And number 44 is the magic number to see me. Thank you.
Thank you, Winfried. Okay, that was a quick rush through. You have more time, and I'm sure you're very keen now going down and seeing more detail in the posters, but don't run away.
Before you go, I have not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 13 posters. Don't worry, it won't take that long. You've already seen some of them on the side there. These are artworks that have come out of the Climate Stories project. Please engage with them, read them, be provoked by them, be inspired by them. If you feel the urge to create a poem or draw a sketch, tweet it to us. We'd love to have your input. And if you're feeling even more inspired, head downstairs and turn left, and you'll see a poster that's the epitome of co-creation and co-design. You can make yourself a poster. It's a whiteboard, you can draw on it, it's magnetic, you can stick cartoons on it. Please make a creation and tweet it to us. I really want to see your magical creations. Thank you very much.
Okay, one more announcement. 4:30, we have 2 side events in the room upstairs, just above the gallery. And the announcement about working groups.
Yeah, hello everyone, my name is Johannes, I come from Berlin. I'm here together with my colleague Dominic, and we brought also 13 posters. Unfortunately, these posters are still half empty, and this is just a kind reminder to be on time tomorrow for our interactive breakout sessions, in which you fill in the posters, and we start sharp at 9 o'clock. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, let's go downstairs, and the online products, atrium posters down, coffee is ready, probably.
Is the video for the school going to be like the 10-minute one?
We can